thing's premiering on YouTube right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
2 o'clock.
Nice.
So they're about to let people.
Oh, this was so
No, you
much
don't.
easier before all you people showed up. Now I'm nervous. But hi, everybody. Welcome. I see a bunch of nerds that I know in the front row. Hello. I hope you're all doing well. But yeah, we are going to show a couple things. We've released a good few clips from the beginning of the pilot. We figured we would show here the animated opening for the pilot, the current work in progress, which has to go up as the trailer for the Kickstarter very soon, so trust me, I'm going to be spending a lot of time finishing that when I get back home.
It's almost done, as you're going to see.
It's almost done. And then we will be showing the first 3.5 minutes of the pilot. A lot of it is stuff that is already online, but there is some stuff that you guys haven't seen before. But I figured in case there's anybody here who's curious about what Farfetch'd is or hasn't seen that stuff, it would be cool to show it off. Anything to add, Dave? Anything at all?
Anything at all. Thanks for coming, all you humans out there. No, for real. We're very excited because we've been working on this thing for a long time, and with the Kickstarter launch and everything. This OP especially is like something I've been so excited for you to finally see.
And also, I believe my handler is or will be walking around with little promo stickers for the Kickstarter as well.
Yes.
Also, if you ask for those in the mail, they're in the mail, I promise. It just took forever. Stamps are expensive. So yeah, expect those soon. All right, without further ado, should we?
Yeah, let's show the thing on the computer.
Woo! Computer, yeah! Woo! Technology!
All right. We good to go?
So yeah, I've worked on putting a few more things in there, actually got some of the transitions between shots at the end working, but there's a lot more that needs to be done, and it is all being done by yours truly at this point.
The cleanup and compositing.
I have started to grow roots into my computer chair at this point. But yeah, it is so nearly finished. And like I said, that's going to be our primary trailer for the Kickstarter when that drops, because I feel like the opening gives kind of like the best taste of what Farfetch'd is and is going to be.
It requires us to not have to say anything, just like, here.
Yeah.
Like, so.
We do have a little ramble afterwards, though, where we're like, hello, investors. We're going to take your kids and family away from you.
I think
if you don't give us money. Thank you.
I think there's a line I say in it that's like, now you may be sitting there wondering, these chair straps sure are tight, and you're right, the pilot is halfway done. like some crazy scientist.
Yep. All right. They don't give a shit about any of that, though. Should we play You closed it.
I want them to see the cool background.
No, they're looking at our beautiful faces. There it is.
The infamous Garfield comic. Yes, Areg did that. All right, let's see. And then, all right. Are y'all ready for this? This is the big clip.
First 3.5 minutes.
Come on. Okay. Hello, all you beautiful people. Quinn here on the set of our groundbreaking music video. Hope you're sitting back in your seats, because Sesamoid are about to knock you right off the
Hey,
air.
would you put that thing down and actually help? It's not getting any lighter out here.
Oh, Warren, this is all part of the process. People are dying to see behind the scenes just as much as hear our music itself.
what people?
Oh. I'm just laying the breadcrumbs for when we make it big. Isn't that right, Rue?
Yeah, of course. Everyone loves a good origin story, right?
Yeah, and they usually start with hard work. So make yourself useful.
Hey, Quinn! Wedding party or desecrated corpse?
Oh, duty calls. Think fast. Coming, Piper.
Typical. Why do I even bother with any of this?
Oh, you making friends, Kira?
Sorry. I guess they don't make trees like they used to.
Oh, right. People, this is our lead singer and lighting expert, Griff.
Huh, lighting expert. You hear that, Kira? I got a promotion. Oh.
Hey, get back here, Kira! Not in front of my new friend.
Now that I'm walking around in it, not really feeling desecrated corpse.
Yeah. Bet it would look perfect on Warren, though.
Not on your life.
Come on. Don't you want to feel dead on the outside, too?
Look, I'll wear that thing as soon as Griff learns how to fly. Jeez!
Griff! Oh my god! Are you okay?
Yeah. My bones broke my fall.
We need to get out of here. Now.
Excuse me? We haven't even started shooting yet.
Now, Huckley!
Epic soundtrack here.
Damn weighted fabric!
All right, let's go.
Hey! Damn it, Warren! I need those! I have legs, you know!
Come on.
Will you tell us what the hell is going on?
Trust me, we want to be anywhere but here right now.
Well, I'm not going anywhere without my costumes. I can make new ones. Go!
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I forgot to mention this version also doesn't have any music, so now you get to see the original pilot clip without music.
Should have thought about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't gonna give Adam like 5 days to
A
make
show about a
music
group
for
of
us.
musicians and there's no music in it.
We're gonna wait to do the music until all the animation's completely locked in, like responsible creators, respectable creators.
It's just a world of excuses in my right ear right now.
All right, anybody, that was my time. I'll see you next time. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff in there that we want to change. I remember we were talking about like the dam back to back with Piper. We were just like, I don't like that now.
Yeah, it's more of a hat on a hat. I was also kind of like, I think it's funnier when Warren picks her up, her just go, hey, and then the next thing to be just like, I have legs, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just funnier.
But yeah, ending thing will have sound effects, music, all that, obviously.
And it's you know, just because we're, you know, sadistic. Where that stops right there, basically like the next second to the end of it is just pure insanity. So, sorry. Like,
we gotta save it. We gotta save it.
you'll have to wait until we have the money.
If you join our Patreon, though, you can see a few clips from further on in the pilot. Blah, 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 blah.
I thought you were going to say if you donate to the Kickstarter, we can make the freaking cartoon.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, you could do that also. Thank you. Donate to our Kickstarter, LMAO. But, yeah.
We, I guess we'll open it up to questions because, you know, we're not exactly Laurel and Hardy up here, so...
All right. If anybody, all right, I can just go to the people. Or if you guys want to form a line, that's okay with me. All right. All right.
Always trying to bully us.
That's fine.
Maybe.
I can just come to you people then. You LV people. All right. All right.
Hi, will you be making an concept art book at all?
Yes, actually, that is part of the Kickstarter that we're doing. So
Yes.
we have partnered with Iron Circus Comics, who most of you would probably know as the publishers of Lackadaisy. They also work to help create the Lackadaisy animated series. And so as part of us working with them on the Kickstarter, they're helping us make a book, and it's going to be full of concept art from back in 2006, when Rue and Kira were first incepted, and all the way up to the end or completion of the pilot. So you'll get a full 10, 20 years worth of stuff from starting out with just myself and then the team and all that, and it'll also include every single comic that we've released thus far, and hopefully, if we're able to, I really want to, it depends on how much money is left at the end of the thing, I want to go back and update some of our older comics as well, so they all are kind of in style with each other, because I know the way that we do the comics has kind of changed over time.
You can see the progression, definitely, from, and the first few ones I think are still funny, but it's definitely they're different now.
They're also all completely different sizes, so we're going to have to go back and fix that too.
The book's going to be a Tetris game.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely going to be one of the Kickstarter rewards that you can get.
Anyone else?
Well, that was easy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hello, I'm here to bother you again, but this is a request from a mutual friend of ours. Do you mind if I record your responses?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hell yeah. Let me pull up my video. Oh, you're videoing it? Okay, bet. All right. So Jason just wants to know, will there be adequate vampire inclusion in this series? He wants to make sure that there
This
will
is
be.
the Jason I'm thinking it is.
This is the
isn't it?
Jason you're thinking of.
There will be very adequate vampire inclusion, as he
Good.
should know.
I hope so.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was also going to ask, how many quotation marks are around adequate?
I mean, yeah. And about the same amount around straight for Drain?
There was gonna, yes, that many quotations. There was gonna be another vampire character I wanted to do, but Dave said there were too many vampires.
Dave.
Too much of a good thing isn't very good. Grow up.
No.
I wanted to do a Spanish vampire mariachi singer, and Dave wouldn't let me.
We need what
Wait,
tier?
why did I say no to that? Why would I say no to that?
Yes, why would you
No,
say no to
you know
that?
what I think it probably was? It was not saying no to a Spanish mariachi singer, because that's actually a fun idea. It was saying no to another freaking vampire.
Boo.
Another vampire musician, which is fair.
I think what we said was because I wanted to do a thing is vampires and werewolves are great, but I also want to do really weird monsters and cryptids and stuff.
I think we settled on shapeshifter.
It was like
Spanish
it was like
mariachi.
a blob man or something.
Yeah. So look forward to that in 10 years.
The idea of just a big blob with a sombrero is really funny.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome, Jason.
Hi. Ashley, a long time ago, I remember you mentioned that, I think you were saying it mostly as a joke, but if you want to make a pilot start with comics instead, would you be, do you, gosh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Do you,
Do I still give that advice? Do I have
Yeah.
different advice? So, wasn't a joke, actually, genuinely. If you want to make an animated pilot, start with, it doesn't have to be comics, just start with anything small. Because to make an animated pilot, unless you are insane, like Zarel, who can do literally everything, you're gonna need funding. And the only way you get funding is you start with an audience.
Yeah.
And so if you want to make a whole animated pilot yourself, absolutely go for it. If you if you think you can do it, you can do it. Go for it. But it's a ton of work. So either to build an audience or to build up to the point where you feel confident in your skills that you could tackle something like that, start with anything small. It could be comics, it could be little animatic memes on TikTok, it could be animation memes on YouTube, or I guess those are on TikTok now, I don't know, I'm old. It could be just little animatics to random audios, it could be like tiny, like 10-second, like little music video type thing. Anything you want to do, start with that. And just work your way up to like making bigger and bigger stuff until you're like, okay, I know I'm ready. But definitely don't fall into that trap of, oh, I can't do it until I know I'm ready, because you'll never actually feel ready. The only way you learn is by doing it, so just start with doing stuff and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Hello.
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 I remember hearing about Farfetch'd back when it was initially known as Hell Puppy, which feels like ages ago now.
Eons ago.
I'd like to ask a little bit about the casting. I know some of the names are from the Honey cast back from the late 2019s, early 2020s. But I'm curious, who are some of the potential runner-ups that were considered but didn't make the cut? Or even like an ideal choice?
So just like some of the ones who like we considered in a callback.
Some of the final callbacks that we did.
One of them.
I know one of them was Brandon, J. Michael Tatum, the voice of Quinn's husband for Drain, which would have been very deeply funny.
It was funny. He and another lovely gentleman were actually in the front running both for Drain, and we were like up until the last second we're debating about like, you know, which one we wanted. And then Michael Zekas came in last second and we're like, well, you win.
Yup.
Because he was just phenomenal. So.
And then, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. We auditioned like 400 and something people. So like it was a lot.
So I'll say this, is that all the characters had auditions because Nola for Rue and Jasmine for Kira were already from the proof of concept. And we're like, well, of course we're going to bring them back. The thing was with Quinn, they wanted J. Michael. And for Griff, I specifically wanted Jacob Takanashi. So those two were kind of like, let's try to get them. We did. The rest of them, though, everybody auditioned. So
I remember for Warren, there was a guy named Alex who was one of our final picks.
Yes. He was very good.
And he got very, very, very close. And what was cool is at the time he had like no other roles like ever. And now I still like follow him on Twitter and stuff, and now he actually has like a ton of roles.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that.
So it's really, really cool. And yeah, we have a list somewhere of all the like really, really close final callbacks that we're like, we want to work with these people
we
one
saved
day.
everybody. So
I wish we remembered more specifics, but it was so long ago.
It was a while ago. And we still have to cast Reagan and Clodagh. So
yep. People have been chomping at the bit of asking who's going to voice them. But that's going to be difficult because I want somebody authentically Irish and I want somebody authentically native to the Pacific Northwest to voice Reagan. So that's going to be rough. That's going to take a while to cast. But one of our stretch goals for the Kickstarter is going to be getting all the comics dubbed and releasing comic dubs. So once we hit that point, we're definitely going to have to cast them.
That's a decision. It's one that's probably going to have to be made some point this year, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, God, that also means we're going to need to cast Becca and Bridget, the Drain fangirls.
Oh, yeah, they're there. But hopefully did I answer your question, or?
They give thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. So my question is, what was your writing process for the pilot?
That's actually very interesting because at the time when we first decided to do this, like as a project, after we had done the proof of concept, I was actually back working my 9-to-5 butcher job that I had done for 8 years. And one day, I remember this specifically, I was just on my lunch break, sitting in my car, and I was just like, I wonder if Ashley still wants to do something with that purple dog cartoon. And I texted him, and then, and then at that point, what happened at first was we started just back home over Discord, just discussing ideas to expand the show. And it went from this kind of thing where it was at first kind of like a slice of life thing with Rue, Kira, and Quinn. And then we were like, she's like, well, Quinn would definitely be like in a band and stuff. And I'm like, why don't we make the rest of the characters like his band? And then it just exploded into this thing with like music and monsters and ice cream trucks and vampires and stupidity. And so when we started, actually, you had pitched the idea for what was going to be like a 2 to 3 minute short.
I actually have that up on my phone
So you
right
do?
now.
Okay.
So at like 5 in the morning, I just woke up out of bed like in a sweat, just going, wait a minute. We shouldn't start with a full 20-something minute episode 1. We need to start with something small. And I wrote down like just this random idea that I had. And I was like, Dave, we're not doing episode 1 anymore. We're doing this instead. And Dave's like, what? And then he was like, oh, yeah, that's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
And then that was supposed to be, like Dave said, 2 to 3 minutes. Now it's 8 minutes. So kind of defeated the purpose of going back and doing something smaller. Oops. But yeah, let me read out what the original thing was. Video camera snaps on, film static fades away to reveal Quinn is holding a camera, selfie style. Quinn starts talking about his band, and each character interjects/interrupts to introduce themselves and give us a taste of their personality. Maybe the camera gets passed around, ? It's obvious they're in a forest recording a promo for their next music video or about to record a music video. Before they start, they get ambushed by werewolves and then vampires and or an assortment of creatures, ? Maybe they stumbled into a battle, ? And then this was back when Griff was called Chester. I just have a line.
Oh, yeah, we should say that. So Griff used to be called Chester, and Piper used to be called Alice.
Rue used to be Lucia, and before that was Vicky.
There are a lot of music and horror references to the character names in the show. Like, it was originally like Chester for Chester Bennington, and then like Alice for like Alice Cooper, and then like there's Warren for like Warren Zevon. But we were like, no, Piper's cooler, which is a reference to like Piper Stubbs, her last name Levi Stubbs, the voice of Audrey 2 from the original musical. So.
And then one line I had written down for Quinn is, Chester, you picked a monster's nest? Chester, maniacal laughter, woo!
He still does a big woo, but you haven't seen that yet.
But yeah, that's how, there's more, but that might spoil where the pilot goes from here. But yeah, just in a haze at 5 in the morning, I'm like, Dave, let's do this. And then it grew and it evolved. And I remember we wrote out the script, and it was like 6-7 pages long. And Dave's like, that's fine. When we board it out and everything, it'll only be 2 minutes. I'm like, Dave,
well, the thing was,
each page usually adds up to a minute. Are you sure?
So when because the boarding out process really like puts things into perspective too. And at that point also I had moved to work on, because we decided we were going to do this thing. So it was easier to actually like write the full script like together in there, and then be just over this laptop. But yeah.
And then it just got bigger and bigger, and then we tried to trim it down, and
we did trim it down some. There are some big things that did get cut. I remember specifically, like I remember at one point, I'm not going to spoil what happens later, but there was one point where like a whole entire like horde of different creatures were going to be chasing them, and there was going to be like this shot over it where you see just like massive, and we're like, no, that's too complicated.
We cannot handle that yet. I remember the original concept was that the whole thing was going to be through the view of a camera.
Yeah, it was gonna, that 3x4, 2006 camcorder was gonna be the vision the whole time. And then I think it was a combination of just being like, it's harder to pull this off, and then also like, that's gonna get annoying if it's not broken up in sequence.
If it was like a minute long, we could have still pulled that off, but as it got longer, we were like, there's no way we can pull that off. That's way too complicated. So we decided to have certain parts be in the camera view.
Yeah, and we didn't want to have like just one person behind the camera because that's like Cloverfield, and that movie sucks.
I like that movie.
So, but is that cool? All right, thank you.
Greetings, Miss Ashley, Mr. Dave. Question about the monsters. Are they going to be a representation on traditional? Will it be more, original of your idea? Or will it be a mix between the two? Because I imagine there's a lot of different monsters that you get to take inspiration across from the realm of Earth.
Yes, they are actually like kind of a mix in a way. We have like a few, like some of them are like the more traditional stuff like, you know, werewolves, vampires. Then we have things that are more like mutants, and then there are other kind of supernatural creatures. And then we also come up with our own stuff that are like combinations as well. And that really comes out, you know, in the antagonist part of the show too, the big lady who does the grip in the OP. Enough said. But yes, we really wanted to do a thing where it was like, also like, have the show, like the characters be fun, but like the monsters actually intimidating. We wanted that to kind of come into it. So like, when you see like the full design of like, you know, the thing that broke into the end there, the Piper bonked with the guitar, that thing's gonna be pretty intimidating. It's like a spin on it's not just a traditional werewolf though, so.
Yeah, we're doing something fun with the monsters in the pilot. And yeah, like Dave said, we're going to have a whole gaggle of stuff. More traditional ones that you're more familiar with, cryptids, spirits, mutants, all sorts of fun stuff, and plenty of original things too.
Yeah.
Hello. Oop.
Hello.
What kind of merch ideas do you guys have? Like,
oh, too many.
You mean that thing we should have done years ago?
If you could make like one thing, what would it be out of merch?
Well, okay, the most obvious thing is like a nice Kira plush because people would eat that up like Denny's pancakes. So, God though, but like, if I had like a dream, like, are you saying like hypothetically like any idea, right? Oh gosh. I think like the coolest thing to me would be like, I think the coolest thing would be like an actual wearable drain helmet. But that's like no, don't.
Cost an arm and a leg. I know every meeting that we've had for like merch, everybody always brings up like really amazing ideas, and I have to be like, guys, we can't afford that. I have no idea how to source that.
Like, God, it's a thing where it's like, because one cool thing is that with an element of this show that we're very proud of is the fact that we have the actual like, you know, animated series aspect of it, but then we also have like the whole Sesamoid band, which is actually released like 5 songs that are like a real thing now. So like we can do marketing of both a show and a band. So it's like, okay, how do you mix both of that merch in the same thing? So, yeah.
My dream piece of merch would probably be plushies of all the characters.
And I mean, that'd be awesome. I want a Griff puppet. That just like I'm like an actual Muppet, like, yeah.
Griff ball.
I remember at one time, because like the drain helmet thing, I thought a fun idea would be like the drain helmet and the Papa Swirl head as like pillows. That I thought would be a cool idea.
That would definitely be doable.
Yeah.
That's within the realm of possibility. We're currently talking to someone about redoing all the merch and whatnot, because it's become very apparent that we are far too busy to do that ourselves. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Am I allowed to ask 2 questions?
No.
Oh, gosh.
Everyone else is allowed, but not you specifically.
God damn it. All right. So my question is, once y'all are done making the episode 1, or is it episode 1 or is it?
It's not episode 1. It's just a pilot.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you said that because I want to clarify that. It is basically this pilot is. It's like a mini adventure that could take place toward the front half, middle of the series, if that makes sense. Like, it's like a one-off little adventure, so.
Okay, so my question is, once you guys are done with the pilot, will this be premiered in person, like in a special small theater, or like what are the plans moving forward?
We're gonna show it in like an abandoned sewer and bury it after so no one sees it again.
I definitely would love to be able to do like an IRL, like physical premiere of the pilot, like a few days before it goes up on YouTube or something like that. It would probably be local to our Seattle area that we live in, or maybe in LA, but everything in LA is expensive.
We should do like something cheap, like I don't know, like the middle of like North Dakota. No,
everyone has to travel North Dakota.
It's like one screen in the middle of like an endless cornfield that you have to watch.
But yeah, we would love to like have an actual like screening. It would just be a matter of, do we open it up for anyone to come to? Do we sell tickets? What is that chaos like? Do we keep it to just like our crew? You know, so
because the crew would be the priority. No offense to you people, but like, but yeah, I mean, we would love to do something like that for sure. So.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we've been thinking about. We actually have a really cool theater local to us that we've been eyeing.
Oh yeah,
as the place to do that. It's a nice little like bar movie theater, so everybody can get smashed while they watch monsters.
What was the other one?
So my second question is,
Dave, you're so mean.
No, just the way they said that. Yes, Senator. I like.
Don't laugh at me. So, if not purple, what color would Kira would have been?
Oh God.
Well, she was drawn in colored pencil on an actual piece of paper, so there was no other color ever. It was always just purple. But if I had to make her another color,
piss yellow.
Why is the dog purple? No, no, no. Why is the dog pee-pee? If I had to pick other colors, I would probably make her pink and green. And like pink green. Yeah, pink, green, and purple are kind of like the main colors of the show.
Yeah.
So
obviously she likes purple. And my favorite is like there's a reason why you see purple and neon green a lot, because those are our 2 favorite colors. So.
Yeah, I was like, I want to include purple and green everywhere because those are our 2 favorite colors, but we need like a 3rd color to marry it in. I know, the spookiest, scariest color of all, neon pink.
Chappelle Roan would be proud.
Pink Drain Club, I'm going down to the... Nothing?
Nothing.
Dave?
Nothing.
Anything, please? I need validation.
Mm-hmm. That's obvious.
Thank you.
Oh, boo.
I love you too. Everyone who said I love you, Ashley, you're my favorite specifically, just you.
I would say throw eggs, but those are like super hard to find right now.
They need to save that money.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
First
Hello.
time audience member, 2-year as your social media manager and project manager.
Oh, God, it's you.
Is that Sam?
It is.
Hi.
This is how we're going
I want to run off stage and give you a big hug right now. Oh, my God. Hi.
My big question is, can I have a raise?
I just fired Dave, so there is money in the budget.
There's a co-creator opening if you're interested.
I do have an actual question. So I am curious, when you guys were kind of developing the characters, be it the main cast or just any of the characters for like the actual series, was there ever a point, and I'm going to use Quinn as the example, was there ever a point where you're like, God, I really just hate this character as a person?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Quinn and Drain. Constantly Quinn and Drain.
It's kind of sad that like I actually like Drain more than Quinn as a person.
We make Quinn do some stuff that might make the entire fandom turn.
But I think that's funny though, because it's like it's this dichotomy of like you have this character that everyone is like obsessed with for how they look, but then he's just a real piece of work. So
he has enough charisma that people will probably
Yeah.
still love him. But yeah, one of our metrics for casting Drain was literally who could make us cringe the
That
hardest.
is true. There were like I think 2 regular lines, one for like, regular talking, one for like hiding emotion, and one that was just like the cringiest like line you could think of.
I remember what it was.
Do you want to
It was
say
like,
it?
My girl Vanessa here is the moon to my stars.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, gross. It was a whole bunch of stuff like that. Really
And
cringe.
I think I remember when I listened to Zekas, I like cackled, laughed, that I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was
Like,
whoever could make us cringe, but also laugh the hardest.
Yeah.
And that was Zekas by far. He absolutely nailed it.
Also, it's like it's weird because like with characters, you love them all, no matter what you end up doing with them, but it's all about progression too over time. What you evolve them into, and I think that's going to be interesting if we could make the full show to see like where everybody goes and their relationship is this like little found family of musical misfits and what happens in their town and everything. So, yeah.
Expect to groan at Quinn a lot.
If the series does get made, or if the series does get made, do you have any idea where we'll be able to watch it, or is that or that's a decision yet to be made based on whether or not the series gets made?
Basically that.
9 times out of 10, it's probably going to end up on YouTube.
Yeah.
There have been some meetings that we've had with certain people that probably won't change that, but we're not going to say for sure
Right.
that it's always going to be on YouTube, but most likely it will at least start on YouTube.
It's the kind of thing where like right now our focus is just on like basically getting it made and seeing if we can even viably make more of it at that point. And then that would be more of a discussion that we've had a couple times, but more like of a serious, discussion of that. So,
at the very least, I want the pilot in episode 1 to definitely be on YouTube.
yes.
What happens from there, we'll see.
Yeah. So we want to get as many eyes on it for free as possible. So.
And if we can, just make it all like just with Kickstarters and just have it be free and available.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
We would love to do that. It's just animation is extremely expensive.
Yeah, because if we had the ability to just like completely hands off do it ourselves, we would do that. But this industry is cuckoo, so thank you.
I have an egg for you, Dave. May I throw it to you?
You want to hit right here?
I won't hit you. May I throw it to you?
Yeah.
Question, may we chuck things at you? Answer, yes.
That's a big egg. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Wait, is that an actual egg?
It is an egg.
What is
It's
that?
a little. There's a little freak inside.
Oh, it's Gudetama.
Oh, you know more about this.
Egg.
Egg.
Hold on, everybody in unison. Egg. Egg. Is that for Dave to keep or? Oh,
All right.
that's sweet.
Oh, thank you. It's very sweet.
Gudetama has your vibes, Dave.
Looks like he's like, The endless torture of a shell I can't escape from. Ooh. Anyway.
Howdy, friends.
Howdy.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you.
So, you still owe Arik royalties for using his likeness. Are you writing the check to me or him soon? Because rent is due.
We're writing.
We know you're his keeper, so the check will go out to you, obviously. Yeah, for those who don't know, I almost said our character Arik. Our character Griff.
He basically is.
Our character Griff.
Dave, I want to talk about Spider-Man for the 100th time. Like
somehow wound up looking identical to our lead animator Arik.
It's really funny because and which is why we give. To be fair, we're making up for it by giving him the best Griff shots.
Yeah.
Including that. Actually, there is. I made fun of. All right, but I have to call myself out here for that. There's literally a shot that he is animating that is inspired by a scene from Spider-Man 2, almost dead on. And I'm like, yeah, you're doing this. So I'm glad because he's phenomenal.
Once we get the Kickstarter money, we'll start working on that.
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys laughed at the my bones broke my fall joke because I'm proud of that one.
I remember like a few weeks ago, Dave was I exported a new updated version of the full pilot for us to review.
Yeah.
And Dave was like, Ashley, I don't know if it's funny anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Do we need to go back and change it all? Are people gonna like it? What if it sucks? And I'm like, Dave, it's fine. And so I think part of the reason I wanted to show off that first 3.5 minutes was so
This is a therapy session.
Could watch people laugh and enjoy it.
I'm kind of an ignoramus and a moron, so like I it's the kind of thing where it's like with anything, to be fair, where it's like we wrote this thing a few years ago, so time goes on, and you grow, and
we've also watched it 80 times.
We've watched it 80 times, and so of course I'm gonna be like, this sucks, but it doesn't. I'm still very, very proud of it, especially like now that it's seeing like the actual like formation of the animation and everything. Then it's like, oh, this gives it almost like a second life to me, and I'm like, okay, this is still good.
Dave, do you want to kill me?
I tried.
I'm holding this for emotional support. Dave, now that I've seen the like rough, sketchy pencil style in the opening, part of me wants to go back and have that be the line art style for the full pilot.
No. Don't. You were given words. Use them wisely.
I know it's too late, but gosh dang it. I think I'm going to keep that.
That's more stuff we can experiment with in the actual.
I think for the full series, I want to keep that like fun, sketchy line art, though. The scribbly lines.
I don't mind it. It's just that it's too late for this
I
now.
know.
Like,
what if we went back and redid everything, Dave?
You can't buy a car and be like, what if I put this engine in it? It's like, okay, like it's not gonna run. Like
you're watching how the creative process at home goes constantly. Any other questions?
How long are you guys planning on making the series?
If we had the full creative control, we have an idea of enough episodes, both narratively and like, one-off to, what was it like?
3 seasons?
Like 3 seasons at most. We don't want to go more than that.
We have the whole series like in bullet points, and we have a bunch of like kind of like outlined episodes and stuff. And on my phone, I shouldn't have said that. People are going to try and steal my phone now. I know the group that's going to do it.
Yeah,
I have season 1 outlined on my phone.
I have the ending on my phone.
Yeah,
we already figured out the ending, which is a good. I will give you guys a piece of advice if you're a writer. The easiest things to do are figure out your beginning and your end, and then all you got to do is figure out the sandwich meat at that point.
I think what we're starting with to kind of like plan things out is like 3 12-episode seasons, but it could easily be bigger than that. There's a lot of things to explore. There's a ton of like optional lore and like backgrounds and stuff, backgrounds on characters and like monsters and how everything in the world came to be. We want to at least go over that a little, but we could go into a lot of that stuff very much in depth because it has a lot to do with like our characters today and like where they are and how they've grown and changed. So it could easily be 3 26-episode seasons or 3 12-episode seasons. We're just kind of gonna have to see how things play out and like see when we like really get into the nitty-gritty of writing everything where we might need to place in more episodes and stuff like that. So it's up in the air.
I agree.
Who knows? Who's to say?
I agree. No, but for real, it's the kind of thing where it's like enough time to tell the story we want to, and then not. At that point, it's kind of like you don't want to like elongate it forever, you know. Like, no offense to any show, but like sometimes you see stuff that just will not die, and you're like, oh my god, you've told your stuff.
Like the name of our pilot, the band that wouldn't die.
Ha ha. But yeah, no, so thank you.
We don't want it to overstay its welcome, but we want to tell the story we want to tell.
Exactly, that's the main thing. So, and we are very excited about the story we have in mind because we think that like it is gonna really elevate this group of characters and thrust them into this like holy guacamole type of situation. So.
I have so much monster lore I need to shove into this thing, so I better get enough episodes for that.
All right, we got one more here over here.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Over here.
Oh,
hi.
There you are.
Hi. Yeah, so conveniently this morning I was watching Drawfee, and one of them made a comment about how they think werewolves shouldn't have tails, and they would fight anyone who says otherwise.
Incorrect. Wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah,
every werewolf should have a tail unless it got cut off.
Yeah, because I didn't see that in the Bible. But I just thought that could lead into, like, what do you guys think about in terms of how you design your monster characters?
We, I know for exactly a good example would be like the werewolf character from the pilot, is that we had like a traditional style and we decided we really wanted to sort of like mutate it into like a very, you know, more intimidating kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to be sheepish anymore because you can kind of see it in the clip that's now up on YouTube.
Yes.
He has 3 heads.
He has 3 heads, 3 different jaws, and like, you know.
Well, I think he has 2 jaws. No, he's 3.
Oh, you know, wait.
What does that character look like again?
I'll tell you this, it's interesting, because that the monster's name is Boris, and it's a combination of being inspired by like the color palette of like
he's colored after a Russian bear,
brown bear, and then also Boris like Cerberus,
3-headed
has
dog.
3 heads. So and then there's later on something happens, and an incarnation of him is genuinely the freakiest thing, I would say.
He goes from 3 to 0. What a day for the poor guy.
Yeah. That probably is like the actual, like, might actually freak people out, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah,
so.
I also cut the clip where I cut it because I was going to go a little bit further, but
no.
From that point, it gets a little bit gory, and I didn't want to have to do a preamble on that and give any warnings, but we're probably going to end up changing a lot of the blood to be like green or Danganronpa pink or something at some point.
It's mainly that sort of thing where it's like, you know, what is stomachable? Because like, you know, you got stuff like I'm wearing a freaking Army of Darkness T-shirt, so it's like I'm a big fan of like really over the top like blood and stuff like Evil Dead, where it's funny, but it's not necessarily like, you know, it's not gonna bother you that much. So.
But as for our monster designs, we've been trying to hit up a balance of having them look stylistically interesting and fun while also trying to make them at least somewhat genuinely scary.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard to make stuff scary in 2D animation, so that's been an experimental process. And we're still kind of experimenting with exactly what we want to do with a lot of our monster designs. We've done the most development on how the werewolves look because I'm biased.
Gun fingers. There's a thing that you know what? If you're gonna throw the thing about the mariachi blob man in my face, there's a thing Ashley will not let me do involving werewolves, and I'm gonna use the power of influence here.
I know what you're gonna bring.
So I had this idea. That there would be like a pair of werewolf guards, and basically the tips of their fingers would open up and shoot out bullets. And I was like, Ashley, gun fingers. And she's like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, no, it's really good.
Okay, you were like, Ashley, werewolf gun fingers. And I was like, no, that's stupid. Dave, ass vampires.
That's a funny, we still might do that.
So the whole thing with that, sorry to any younger folks in the audience. The idea
Butt
with that
vampires.
is to,
There you go.
yeah, butt vampires. The idea with that is to kill a vampire, you have to stab them in the heart with a stake, right? Doesn't say anything about heart being moved around.
Just think about it.
It just needs to be stabbed.
If vampires did exist, you know, with Darwinism, they would probably over time learn, oh, hey, this Achilles heel I have, maybe I should learn to hide it better and evolve. So we're like, what if one of them just moved its heart to its butt? And
Just put his heart right in his butt cheek.
The idea that the way he dies is he trips and falls on a tree branch, right?
I remember early on in early drafts of Farfetch, that was going to be like the first villain they ever encounter or something.
Yeah, it was like a goofy little one-off guy.
And that was before Drain existed. Then that got cut, and then suddenly Drain exists. No correlation, I
Guys,
swear.
I hate to interrupt, but we are coming to the end of our time.
Well, there you go.
Do we have some fun closing remarks, a Kickstarter to plug maybe?
Yes, we should probably do that.
Yes. Do you still have those stickers?
I can get more if you didn't get one already.
But yeah, we have Kickstarter coming out very, very soon. I can't say when because our promotion team would kill me.
Yeah.
But
It
keep an eye
will
out
be
in the next few weeks.
Yes, that'll be fair.
We'll be able to tell you guys when it's out 48 hours before it's going to be out. So
yes,
get prepared. We've got a lot of really fun, cool rewards, and yeah, we're excited to be able to finally fund the rest of the pilot. The pilot is over halfway completed already. Like we have over half of all the animation and everything done.
Yes.
It's just a matter of finishing that last half. So yeah, you can find us at Farfetched Show basically anywhere and anywhere. And you can find me, Ashley Nichols, as Ashley Nichols Art basically anywhere, and Dave as Cadaver Dave basically anywhere. So yeah, we hope you're looking forward to the show.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for coming, and have a great rest of your con. We'll also be downstairs signing stuff for the next few hours if you want to come to our booth. So.
Also, make sure there's at least one sticker left. We need to stick that on our table.
And thank you for egg.
Egg. All right, we're gonna head down to our table, down in the autograph area or wherever that is. So see y'all there.